Joining us is publisher and music promoter Ayanda Kgoda. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. As the tributes continue to stream in, you've also conveying your condolences to Mbongeni Ngema's family at this difficult time. What did he signify, according to you?
Thank you very much, Mpo. Firstly, let me pass my deepest condolences to the family of Mbongeni Ngema and KCI, who just passed on yesterday. We just heard that to say we are with them in this pain as the music industry. Ngema, he was not just an ordinary artist, as you would know. He was able to move with times, and he was an activist at his own rights, because Ngema, he also contributed in most of the policies that are existing within the creative sector. And also what he also did was to find a way of merging his creativity with the young ones. He was able to unearth the talent again as the composer, filmmaker, and a writer into this creative industry.
As we take a look at some of the reaction that's coming in and, some of the remarks around the creative space and the laws, policies and legislation, you've also posed a very critical question, asking why is it that politicians only recognize the value of artists during funerals? Expand on that.
Yes, but it's quite disturbing to know that artists are suffering on a daily basis in this country, and politicians, you'll find them very silent when we are raising our issues as the creative sector. I would make an example of something that is existing now, or that on copyright amendment bill and performance protection bill, which is now sitting with the NCOP. All the creative sector in the country, on 9 provinces, we have engaged politicians, we have engaged the parliament around the copyright amendment bill, raising the issue that is very thorny and disturbing into that copyright amendment bill, which is fair use. And we have received none of the response from all these politicians. And that only tells you that we have a problem with politicians listening to us as the creative sector. They only listen and take fame during funerals. And you would find them not even contributing in small contributions or things that you are trying to do. We had sittings at the National Arts Council for more than 60 days. We had sitting at Parkovs, which were raising serious issues for more than 40 days. Where were politicians during that time? You wouldn't find them. You wouldn't even hear them trying to engage and listen to us. What they would do is to find a way of splitting us, dividing us as the creative sector. And it's unfortunate that the same politician that they feels that they are in charge of the creative sector, they are also being misled by their officials. Recently, during the funeral of Zahara, we had the minister saying artists need recording studios, when the same department bought downtown studios, a state-of-the-art recording studio, and it's owned by the same department, which is led by Minister Newzroom. So it shows that they don't even take serious of things that they are doing as the department. So would actually like to say, when people are in pain, politicians, they must come back and become human and understand that we are also in pain as the creative sector. Families are in pain as the creative sector. Promises won't succeed, and promises won't find a way of profiling them as the politician. Though it's a human problem that everyone would want to shine during the funeral of artists when they did not even contribute or become part of their careers.
It's an interesting one that you raised, because we know that since Mbongeni Ngema's passing, an old video clip of him has since resurfaced on social media, where the icon is heard blasting the ANC on how it's turned against its people and how they could not be swayed to do right for their people, which in itself raises another important question.
Yes, which is true. But we must also be honest to say what Ngema raised during that video clip, to say the ruling party is not even contributing or assisting the artist in what is happening, or they failed as the artist into the creative sector. It's basically those who are in charge, and you would find, like I was saying to you, politicians, they would even not understand what they're talking about, but officials that have been into this department for more than 10 to 15 years, they are the ones that are actually failing us making their politicians to understand. But again, you take it back to them, this politician, to say, why don't they engage the creative sector on their own? What he was talking about is to say, we have policies that we need to revisit as the sector. Where are politicians to lead these processes? That's what basically was trying to say, let's revisit policies of funding. Let's revisit policies that speaks about the Copyright Amendment Bill. Let's revisit policies that speaks about us as the country having international artists coming to this country and not even contributing anything into the home affairs, into the tax, into us, uplifting us. So those are things that we're saying. So let's revisit policies. Mbongeni Ngema was very passionate about policies. Those who were close to him, they would know when you engage him, he would raise to say, where is the policy around this matter that you are raising? If there's no policy around it, then there's nothing that you're going to do about it.
You know, it's interesting you raise what we saw during the late Zahara's funeral, because Minister Zizi Kodwa at that point came out to say that SAMRO now needs to probe the exploitation of musicians by record labels. And he had said that he was going to have a meeting with SAMRO to try and chart a way forward to ensure that there is some sort of safeguarding for musicians. Is it a question of allowing and ensuring that there is no exploitation through the recording companies, or will policy go a long way in holding recording companies to book?
Let's start it from here. SAMRO doesn't deal with record companies. That on its own, it tells you that Minister Ziz doesn't understand our sector. We need to put that aside. That doesn't understand our sector. How do you engage SAMRO? SAMRO deals with composers, deals with royalties of composers and mechanical royalties. It doesn't deal with record companies. Record companies, we've got Recording Industry of South Africa, which is RISA, that deals with record companies. We've got Association of Independent Record Companies that deals with record companies, independent record companies. So we are saying he doesn't even understand. And SAMRO is not the only collecting society in this country. We've got IMPRA, which is the collecting society in this country of natal time. SAMPRA, the collecting society of natal time. We've got CAPASO that deals with publishers when it comes to royalties. So you can't engage one collecting society when you need to have a solution around royalties of artists and record companies. The minister needs to know that there are 4 collecting societies that deals with royalties in this country, not only SAMRO. Maybe he was taken by a fame trying to be relevant because people were blasting or shouting at SAMRO during that time, and he wanted to fight to be the messiah in assisting them. Become a messiah from an informed position, minister. Don't just become a messiah by continuing to mislead the sector.
Let's hope the minister is listening. But as we perhaps wind down our conversation, Ayanda, getting a sense of the kind of legacy you believe Mbongeni Ngema leaves behind, what stands out for you as we talk about an icon who has made huge strides in the creative sector?
Number one, its relevancy. Mbongeni Ngema, he was relevant even now. I know other people who say he didn't have my piano song. That's not relevancy for me. His music became relevant since he started his career till now. You would listen to one of the songs that he composed, Ama India. Ama India, he was actually cautioning us about how the economy would move from us to other nations while we are sitting as South Africans. So he was also a visionary, was able to see what is going to happen in future. So also his contribution towards policies of the creative sector in this country. That on its own, we need to continue as a legacy, as the creative sector, and as an activist, independent activist who doesn't 100% relying on government, but relying on our craft as artists.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. That was publisher and music promoter Ayanda Kgoda speaking to us there about the promises and pledges made to artists at funerals by politicians, government officials, just urging them, of course, to be cautious when they speak and ensure that there's a broader understanding of the music sector, as well as the contribution that can be made when it comes to the policies that are much needed within the creative sector.